Hi, I'm Jerry Ackert from the English department, and this is my story. So, summertime is usually a time when teachers get to recharge and refresh and recover from a long year of teaching and grading and lesson planning. And unfortunately, this summer wasn't that case. We realized that we were going to be teaching virtual, and with that came panic and worry and stress over what technology to use. Do we use Pear Deck or Nearpod or YouTube or Google Classroom and a whole slew of other things that none of us really knew how to use? So I found myself inundated and locked away in the office, constantly, doing research and doing training classes and trying to figure out, what was the best way that I could take all the things that I usually do with my students and digitize it and figure out a format that's going to be, as effective, and so that, I could do everything that I could do with my students that I normally did, but in this new virtual/hybrid mode. And so with that came lots of stress, and I found myself, again, just constantly, inside. And it started to have some real negative impacts on me. My stress level increased, anxiety increased, just worry, and just this overall sense of dread. And so one of the things that I started to do was I started to get outside of the house. And I know it seems like a very simple thing, but I started with just walks around the neighborhood, just to kind of get out of the environment that I was in for 6 and 7 hours at a time every day. That led to getting on my bicycle and going down to a local park, and which then led to my weekly, and most of my students know this and seen pictures and videos, my weekly weekend visits to watch the sunrise with my Frenchie Lenny. And I started to realize I was feeling better because I was doing these things. I was putting myself outside of my interior office, and I was getting out in nature. And some of the things that I realized were being out in nature not only is a nice thing to do, or just a pleasant scenery to be part of. It actually has positive impacts on most of our major systems, our nervous, our endocrine system, all those systems that work towards making us feel better, that control our emotions, are releasing certain types of hormones in our body, those stress hormones. And so being out in nature actually improves all of those systems. So it was something that I was doing because I was enjoying it, but what I wasn't realizing was it was having all of these really positive, physical, real benefits that I was never aware of before. So that's why I wanted to share that with you today, because hopefully I know that most people are experiencing some type of stress, some type of overload, some types of feelings of being overwhelmed at this point. I think we're all feeling it at some form. And so I wanted to share this with you today in the hopes that, if you're struggling with certain things, to try these, different options out, get out of the house, especially my students who are virtual. You guys are sitting in front of the computer all day. You have to kind of break that environment and get out in the fresh air and get out in the sunshine. What I hope you'll take from this is that not only is this just a teacher telling you, here's what I think you should do, that there's some scientific basis to this. It's not just a nice thing to do or a fun thing to do. Yes, it's going to be all those things, hopefully, and that's part of the enjoyment of it. But what the really important part of that is that it's backed by science. There's some scientific evidence that shows this could definitely help improve your mental health and your overall sense of well-being. And I know that it's really difficult sometimes for all of us to reward ourselves. It's easy to kind of beat up on ourselves, but it's difficult to reward ourselves and just appreciate the thing that you do. And so treat yourself and make sure that you take the time to treat yourself, because you've earned it and you deserve it more than anything. So my name is Jerry Ackert, and thank you for listening.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate you, and please, if any of this resonated with you, send us a message, email, DM, subscribe, because not only is it important that you get better, but it's important for us to kind of share our stories and connect. So we look forward to hearing your story. Thanks.